Bu ne abi ya? Burada bir insan oturuyor.
Good afternoon. Very happy to be here today. It's really an honor and a pleasure. Before I start the presentation, I would like to tell you a personal story of mine. I love to come to Istanbul. I love to come to Istanbul because I think the experience is not comparable to any other city. And one of my favorite experiences is actually when I spent New Year's Eve in Istanbul in 2019, you know, just before the pandemic. I had a fantastic time, we had great food, great party, and I always associate Istanbul with freedom. So it's really great to be here and be able to represent Wizz Air. Wizz Air is not a well-known airline in Turkey, I believe, so I would like to say a few words about us, and as it was mentioned, we also have some good news for you today. So Wizz Air was founded now 18 years ago, almost 19 years ago actually, maybe we'll be 19 years old. We are the fastest growing European airline, we're also the most sustainable European airline, and we started our growth in Central Eastern Europe. So our first flight actually took off from Katowice to London. Since then, we continue to connect people on low fares. Our mission is to be able to allow for people to travel from point A to point B on a low fare and stimulate the traffic. You see that from very humble beginnings, we have been able to grow very rapidly, and you see that only the COVID-19 pandemic was able to factory, and we're looking forward to be able to allow cheap flights for more and more people. On the next slide, you see kind of our size. Yeah? So we have a full Airbus fleet, Airbus A320s and A321s, CEOs and NEOs. The new generation is the NEO aircraft, which is a more sustainable, more fuel efficient, less noisy aircraft. We have 177 in the fleet. I always like to mention this list for you to see, but I think actually the next slide is more interesting. This is how dense the network is. You cannot really see much, you know, of what the destinations are. I think what I'm trying to show you here is how many points we connect directly. Yeah? So we don't have transfer passengers. We are also not looking for that. We are connecting people from A to B. And if you look at this map, you will see that our most northwestern point is Reykjavik in Iceland, and our most southern point in the east is the Maldives. So we have a really diverse network that allows people to visit, try to transport passengers on very low cost, and so allow them to buy tickets on low fares. We unbundle, so you can basically buy just a ticket, nothing else, or you can choose various services and add them to your ticket. But you can also just decide to take. We're also only selling tickets online, so that's also an important part. You know, the first flight to today. Maybe worth mentioning that we also 239 seats and has 20% lower fuel burn. This means that we need less fuel, we can keep the costs lower, and we can sell the tickets for a lower price. So this is really something that helps us keep the costs low, but also helps us to offer very sustainable traffic. Our emissions, CO2 emissions, are very low. You will see this on the next slide, lower than any other competitor. So not only are we able to produce seats on very low cost, we're also able to do this in a very sustainable way. As you see, we have a very new fleet. It is on average only 4.6 years old, and it's getting younger and younger as we are taking new aircraft into the fleet. This enables us to reduce emissions, and we are actually much ahead of the game. If we would be able to change basically all of the aircraft in Europe to our aircraft, then CO2 emissions would go down by 30%. This is a huge number, and we are able to keep our emissions low thanks to our aircraft. we're very dedicated to that, and actually we're also recognized for that. We're recognized for our sustainability and also our safety. We have received various awards for that. And we are very happy that it's not only me, saying this to you, but also the outside world recognizes our efforts. The next slide shows you our ambition. Our ambition is to grow to 500 aircraft. This is a big number. This means that we will be a big carrier. We already are, but we will be, outgrowing airlines like KLM, airlines like British Airways, on a very sustainable basis, and we will be able to transport 170 million passengers a year. It also means that we will have to recruit one person per hour. So this is a huge effort from our side, and I'm also very proud of our crew. I think they are a unique asset to us. Actually, a lot of them, more than half of them, have university. We will be starting 4 connections to Istanbul, from Budapeşte, from Yaş in Romania, from London Luton, and from London Gatwick. Budapeşte and London will be daily, and Yaş will be 3 times a week. I think this is really